Live from Los Angeles, this is Dr. Erin. We come together each day to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with our unique truth. So let's begin by taking a deep breath in through the nose and exhaling out. And I recognize anywhere in life where you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed, there is always answers, that you are tapped in, tuned in, and turned on by the truth of the universe, which is you, which is your higher self, which is always freedom of choice. And I recognize right here and right now that dealing with overwhelm is not about dealing or denying anything going on in the world, but is rather finding peace within so that you can bring peace to the world. We cannot bring peace to the world if we are not peaceful. I recognize right here and right now the power that be, the power that you are, the power that I am, to overcome any overwhelming feeling and get back to our flow, get into the zone, get into source so that we can be used for the highest good. And I say yes, yes, yes to that, as together we say, and so it is. Okay, so today we're going to talk about overwhelm. How to declutter and simplify your life, right? Overwhelm. We're so overwhelmed right now. Living in Los Angeles, in the heart of West Hollywood, there is so much to be overwhelmed about. We have, of course, we've been through months and months of being cooped up in our homes through the pandemic, being fearful and stressed and overwhelmed by the possibility of people dying and getting sick, and how do we go on with our lives from financial crisis and so on and so forth. We're overwhelmed from the inequality that's going on in the world, and we're overwhelmed from the looting and insanity going on in the world. So there's so much to be overwhelmed, whether it be financially or by what's going on in your relationships or what's going on in your health. You know, a lot of people are sitting around in their health, in their homes, starting to gain weight or not feel well or not eating well or whatever's going on for you. I recognize right here and right now that part of life is feeling overwhelmed. But the truth is that everything's energy, right? It's all energy. So the truth is that we always have choice to organize energy, okay? So if there's fragments, and I think the greatest kind of metaphor for it is, imagine that you're in kind of a tornado and there's all these flying particles going around, right? And so of course you're going to be overwhelmed. Where is up? Where is down? What's going on? This is really the feeling of overwhelm. We have a lot of information coming in through social media. We have all kinds of stuff going on through breaking news all the time. So I'm going to hack right here some simple steps to dealing with overwhelm from a metaphysical standpoint. And it is one of the primary things I do with clients that come to me, because the goal is to get to the core work and being able to do the inner work individually, culturally, and of course for the highest good for all, for the planet. But in order to get to that place where we can even get to doing our core work, doing our trauma work, doing our deprogramming and reprogramming of the subconscious mind, before we can do any of that, before we can really birth your purpose, before we can do any of that, we've got to deal with where you're being overwhelmed and stressed. Because the truth is, we can't heal if we're being stressed. I say this a lot, that if somebody is, dealing with trauma from a war, they can't be still in the war and dealing with the trauma, because they're going to keep getting it's like having a wound on your arm that has a scab on it and you keep pulling off the scab, right? It doesn't work. So how do we begin to deal with overwhelm? We've got to first deal with, when we first want to do our inner work, we want to deal with the overwhelm first so that we can begin to have peace. If somebody is dealing with codependency or dysfunction or dealing with addiction, we can't have you in the same environment that's getting you re-triggered over and over again in order to do your inner work. So dealing with overwhelm is so important. Sometimes it's actually dealing with getting them out of the environment. Sometimes it's whatever, but I'm going to give you the core principles of dealing with overwhelm. Okay, you ready? So you can get a piece of paper out, you can do whatever, because trust me, if you're not dealing with overwhelm, you are a great master on this planet right now. But anyway, you will always at some point in time deal with overwhelm, even if you are mastering stuff, because as you grow your business, as you grow your community, as you grow whatever, you're going to deal with new things and new particles swirling around, right? We're in a universe that's all made of energy, and you're the backing of the energy, right? So we want to understand how to master this. Okay, so let's break it on down. How to deal with overwhelm, simplifying and decluttering your life. Okay, so when a client comes to me and they're completely overwhelmed, they're upset about what's happening in the world, they're upset about their relationship, they're upset about, the finances, they're upset about their health, they're upset about whatever, the first step is to simplify. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that If you are in a tornado and you're swirling around in the tornado, what you do is, it's like they taught us in dance if you're a little girl, when you were a little girl, or for a boy, maybe it's, I don't know if you're in dance also, maybe, but basically there's a principle that it's called spotting, okay? So what you do if you're spinning around as a ballerina and you start getting dizzy, right? This is like overwhelm. You spot a particular place on the wall, and then you turn around and you spot again, and you turn around and you spot again. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick one thing to focus on in your life. And what we could do in something that's really overwhelming like this is you're going to focus on the basics. Okay, so you're going to focus on eating well, sleeping well, and getting some physical exercise. That's it. Okay, we basically say no to everything else. We simplify first, okay? So we simplify. If you have work to do, then you're going to do the one task that you have that's the next task for you. You do not think about all the things you need to do. You simply focus on your one next task, okay? This is like spotting, over and over, turning around like a ballerina, getting focused so that you can be the most powerful in your twirl and focus, twirl, focus, okay? So that's what you're going to do. You're going to simplify. What is the one thing that you need to do today? And that's it. Beyond just sleeping, eating well, and exercising, we're bringing it back to basics, back to simplifying, okay? That means that what we do is we declutter the rest of our lives, okay? So when you have a chance, you can do decluttering. So what I'm going to recommend for you is saying no to everything else. So what you're going to do is you're going to declutter. If you are feeling very motivated, if you begin to feel motivated because you're starting to feel a little bit less stressed, is I recommend decluttering your home, your phone, and your computer, okay? So you're basically going to declutter your calendar, your schedule, your home. And so I actually recommend cleaning, actually physically cleaning your home. If, obviously, we need to go through, and the more, trust me, when you go through your home and you clean your home and you organize the closets, you organize and throw out the things you don't need, then you begin to actually feel more de-stressed. You begin to feel less overwhelmed. When you say no to everything on your schedule that doesn't have to happen, and you only say yes to the basics of what needs to happen, life gets less stressful, okay? Same with news. You do not want to be looking at the news right now 24/7. You're going to get very overwhelmed and you're going to be very stressed. So what you can do is, if you're able to look at the news, a couple times a day, just to check in to see if there's a curfew, see if there's anything that is in harm's way for you, or you could actually delegate it to somebody, maybe a parent, a friend, or somebody that is okay with the news, that can call you and tell you if there's anything that you need to know. If you're getting majorly overwhelmed and stressed, this is going to make your immune system go down, and it's going to not help anything. It's not going to help with making equality in the world. We've got to find stress within find peace within in order to bring peace to the world. So if you are getting too overwhelmed and too stressed, you are not adding to the problem, you are hurting yourself and you're hurting the world, okay? So how do we simplify? We get down to the basics of sleep and eating well and exercising, and then we focus on one thing that we have to do today, okay? If it's work and you have to do your next task, only focus on the one next task at hand, okay? Second is decluttering your life. So I recommend cleaning your home and getting out all the clutter. It's amazing how much less stress you're gonna feel when your home is organized. I recommend clearing off your schedule from everything that does not need to be on there. I recommend cleaning out your phone and cleaning out your computer so that when you come to do your work, you're not overwhelmed with all the different tabs open and different things on your desktop. Clear it out, simplify, and breathe. That's what we're here to do. Because the truth is we're the backing of energy. All of life is energy, and it's all vibration. And we understand that it's like fear thy Lord. It's called fear thy law. Because if you're energizing with stress and being overwhelmed, you're going to harm your own cells. You literally are going to cause dis-ease within your body. You are harming yourself. You've got to know that if you love yourself enough, and if you want to be the parent of yourself, and you want to bring peace to the planet and equality to the planet, you've got to bring peace and equality within. It is an inside job always first, okay? So today we're talking about overwhelm, simplifying, and decluttering your life. So what I'd love to do, you guys, is if you are watching this, take a picture before and after, or tell us something about what you did today to bring peace to your life. And will you tag me in it, and I'll re-tag you in it. I just think that we've got to start getting some solutions to the problem. And I may not have the solutions from a political standpoint. I might not be able to do certain things, but what I can do is I can help people do their inner work. I can help bring consciousness to the world. And so yes, all my amazing friends that I see on the stream right now, you guys all are doing such amazing work. Please keep it up. Please, let's take an action today. What can you do today to bring more harmony to this planet? What can you do today to bring more harmony to yourself, to de-stressing and taking care of the overwhelm? Maybe not watching so much news, maybe calling up a friend. What can you do today to bring more simplicity to your life and deal with overwhelm? Okay, so let's take one last deep breath in. Knowing the truth, prayer, knowing truth, that it all begins in mind. And so prayer is the most important thing we can do, because prayer is not to a man in the sky. Prayer is about our own mind, getting our mind right and awakening new possibilities. So taking a deep breath in through the nose and exhaling out. And I just say thank you for this breath. Thank you for this life. Thank you for the opportunity to grow. I recognize that all of life is designed for our awakening, for us to step into the highest version of ourselves. And I recognize any discord that's happening on this planet is just the outpicture of what's happening in the one soul and the one life. And I recognize and see that wherever it is that I feel called to have a difference in the world is my calling. And so I take that with honor. I take that with dignity. I take that with respect, recognizing that it all begins with peace within. And as I bring peace within and expand my consciousness to all possibility, I'm able to help. I'm able to serve. I'm able to be a difference and make a difference on the planet. I simply know this in my mind, my heart. As together we write this, we speak this, we live this, we love this. As together we awaken the world. As together we say, and so it is. Have a beautiful day, my loves. Have a beautiful day. May you find peace within. May you declutter. May you, take away the overwhelm, and know that your self-care is the most important thing. You have to love yourself.